Good Tuesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather. On behalf of Weigel's Fuel and Food that's fast, fresh, and friendly, here's a quick Weigel's and weather update. We've got to get to the weather, but I also want to bring you, at least your attention, to the all-new brownie batter milk from Weigel's. It is around for just a limited time. It is delicious. If you recall those days in the kitchen when Mom was making brownies and you just found your finger just kind of drifting into the batter bowl, it's just delicious. It's not only chocolatey, but it's like double or triple chocolatey, I guess is how I would describe it. It is delicious, and if you haven't tried it, you definitely owe it to yourself to maybe sample a bottle today. It's just better when it's fresh, farm to store in 24. It's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. Nobody around East Tennessee would argue with that. Weigel's has been serving East Tennessee since 1931. They've been around a long time, but the brownie batter has not been around that long, and it will not stay on the shelves that long, so make sure you pick up a bottle, maybe 2 bottles before the day is through as you fill up your tank. By the way, I want to get to the weather because we've had some of you would like to count the fogs in August. I don't know if it's a thing. It's a thing. Just check out the Farmer's Almanac. I didn't make this up. But those of you who like to track the number of fogs in August, it tends to correspond, or so many believe, it corresponds with future snows the following winter. I know it's like weird, but I know some people really have a lot of science to this. They think, or maybe weather lore. But either way, not a whole lot of fog to report this morning. We have some gray areas over the Hancock County, Claiborne County. In fact, there were a few sprinkles last night, which we'll look at here momentarily. But here it is at 6:41. Temperatures are pretty comfortable, I'd say, for August. Absolutely. For mid-August, not bad. 66 current temperature at McGee-Tyson Airport. We have 64 in Morristown and Sevierville. Our temperature waking up there in Crossville, 60 degrees. Of course, they're at 5:41 Central Time. But in Wartburg, it's 61, and Oak Ridge coming in at 66 degrees. But when you talk about dew points, because really that's a key ingredient to know how sticky it is, when it's close to 70, you have reasons to worry about the humidity. You have reasons to think it's a bad hair day when dew points are around 70. But they're not near 70. They're closer to 60. So it's actually a comfortable start to the morning. Just want to throw that out there. By the way, if we go back in time, just look back maybe a couple of hours ago, places like southeast Kentucky have had a few passing showers. I know last night was a big night for the Perseid meteor shower. The northern lights suddenly came into the conversation as the aurora borealis had signs of coming back down. There were some that saw it on Sunday night. But it's interesting to see if you had enough good visibility, because there were scattered clouds last night, you might have seen both. I've seen pictures from Oklahoma where they captured shooting stars from the Perseids and the northern lights all in the same photograph. I mean, that's just breathtaking, right? But it's been an amazing year because many of us saw the northern lights for the first time in mid-May. I believe it was May 13th. I saw it for my first time here in West Knox County. So it has happened before. And there may be opportunities in the days ahead. I'll keep you informed as best I can. But you can see over the last couple of hours, look towards Somerset, look toward Bowling Green. There have been a few green specks trying to move toward Fentress County in the last hour, but there were a few passing sprinkles, it looked like, in places like Claiborne, Hancock County, about 4 or 5 hours ago. Most of that's now moving away, and if we see a sprinkle around the Smokies, I wouldn't be surprised today. Most of it could be on the other side into North Carolina, but if you're traveling in that direction, something to take note of. There's more heat concerns, as you can see, in orange. The burgundy, or say not burgundy, it's more of a turquoise purple in Oklahoma. They've got excessive heat warnings concerned there, and then more rain in parts of Kansas. Further south, nothing going on in the Great Lakes, but there's more heat, say heat advisories in orange from Houston to New Orleans, all the way up into parts of central sections of Arkansas. I want to say good morning to you. This is a good time to check the comments if you're on the call. I see Karen Robbins is on here. She says, good morning, everyone. The old thermometer, she says, in Crossville is 62 degrees. So glad to have someone up extra early. I mean, let's give you a shout out, Karen, because it's 5:44 Eastern, Central Time. It's 6:44 Eastern Time. My time is all thrown out of whack. But 62 the current temperature in Cumberland County. Happy to have Karen on here, and I do believe I have Steve Stone. He's on here as well. Fred's on here. Let me go say hi to some of you. Fred says hello. He's got good morning. He's got 65 in Maryville. Love to have the weather observations. He says it's coffee time at Weigel's. Absolutely, it's always a coffee time at Weigel's. I love it. And then also want to bring out Steve Stone because he's on YouTube. I can see that from the little red moniker on the bottom right. He's on YouTube. So we're live streaming on both platforms, Facebook and YouTube this morning. So good morning to all of you. And if you have a comment, I'll get back to them here in just a moment. Don saying it's a beautiful day in Lansing. And Marilyn says, have a great Tuesday. Enjoy the time outside in the sunshine. It's going to be a nice day, all things considered, because, again, humidity will not be all that bad. Bigger picture shows more thunder and lightning off to the far west. I'm looking back towards, say, Utah, and they've got more fire dangers, it looks like, in parts of the Pacific Northwest near Idaho. By the way, the clouds this shows you where the sprinkles were last night. You see what I mean? It wasn't like it was going to be that pronounced, but I didn't want to ignore it. I did see an increase in clouds last night. There was some wildfire smoke to track, not necessarily at the surface, but when we say vertically integrated, it's the column of air that we're looking at. And some of that wildfire smoke, as we'll look at, has origins back toward Idaho, Montana, and even Northern California. But most of the rain this morning, as you can see, is now east of Asheville, and there's a few specks of green, little passing showers, maybe south of Lexington and back toward Bowling Green. It is 6:46 now. If you're curious, how are we doing on water for this year? I have all the details right here for you. I have interesting to note. Yesterday, we got up to 85, started the morning at 64. I was expecting temperature in the upper 80s, didn't quite get there. Low dew points kept temperatures down in some cases. We're now at 2 1/3. I think you can see that maybe a little bit better on my full screen. Yeah, 2.35 for the month in August. That puts us 0.76 above normal for the month. But if you really take a look at this, which is interesting, because the actual rainfall for the year is 5.79. We're in a surplus, which is kind of mind-blowing because we were into a serious drought maybe through the middle part of July, latter part of July. But we've made up for some lost time, and it's just one of those things that does tend to ebb and flow, but it is a very taxing thing if you're trying to keep the garden green, kind of keep those cucumbers and tomatoes healthy throughout the entire summer season. It has been feast or famine, no doubt, and we are in the driest months of the year, August, September, and especially October, by just looking at the green numbers. Those are the normals, right? August has, 3.63? That's one of the drier months on average. But by far and away, October, when many of us like to enjoy the pumpkin patches and the hay rides, we're lucky to get 3 inches on average. So really, these 3 months, now through October, could be more of a challenge to keep things green, especially in the lawn category, and for those that are still growing, keeping the water and the garden fresh and watered can be a bit of a challenge. Let me show you the rainfall. This shows you a few drops there. What's this? Mount LeComte 0.01. So not a lot to see today in terms of future rainfall. Once we move into tomorrow, no worries, no rain expected. Thursday, there might be an isolated shower, but this all begins to populate heading into Friday and Friday night. Now, timing can be tricky, but really, look at this. By the time you wake up on Saturday afternoon, we may have picked up a quick inch, maybe closer to 3/4 of an inch. I'm looking at Crossville, about a half inch, about 1.5 inches, maybe around Knoxville. At least that's what the guidance would suggest this morning. But again, these products, these models and solutions can change every 6 to 12 hours. So it's not like you can put your hang your hat on these numbers, but they give you a sample, maybe some guidance, because the rest of the weekend I think will be quiet Sunday. And again, most of the rain I think will come in Friday night, and then probably try and exit slowly on Saturday. Tracking the clouds, there are still some of those in the area. As we start the morning here at 6:48, some of you just joining me, we hit 85 yesterday, and if you were worried or concerned, or maybe just curious, we haven't hit 90 since last Wednesday, and I don't think we're going to do it today. I have us at 88 today. If we hit 85 yesterday, technically, the average high is 88, and 85 is a blue square. That means below average. But we've had 5 days, count them 5 days at 90. I think we'll have a chance to do 90 come tomorrow, but more on that in just a moment. Here's the bus stop forecast. I still say welcome back, students and teachers, because who knows when you started, or if you've been back for a week, it's still a little bit of a routine to have to get back into the swing of things. But temperatures by 10 should be around 72, and by 2 o'clock, 84 degrees. I've got hazy sun, warm conditions today. Some spots of rain may be found in the Smokies. I just put the little animation there to get your attention, but it will be primarily in the higher terrain. 88 for a high temperature in Newport is my expectation. Here's my high temperatures today. I expect Kingston to reach 89. 89 for Madisonville, Tellico Plains, and Athens. 84 for Crossville. for this afternoon, about 86 for La Follette. So if you're on the call, would love to know how you're planning to spend how you're going to spend your day. Got a note from Steve. He says, you were right about this past weekend. Took the doors off the Jeep, took a ride, Cades Cove, Parsons Branch, excuse me. Awesome day. I'm so glad anyone who took advantage of this weekend's past low drop in humidity. It's been fantastic. And because it's been so sticky before, that change certainly can make it nice for anyone who might have been out and about in the Smokies this past weekend. Thank you, Steve, for that note. I got another note from Mary Morgan. She says, good morning, David. Glad to see the smiling faces, little avatars. You can get your face on there. This is one of the benefits of waking up early. If you're watching the live stream early, you've got a chance to get your name up on the screen. So I appreciate everybody watching this morning. It is 6:50. My goal was to be done at the top of the hour. So let me show you that smoke. Anything that's gray here would be very, very faint. Very, very faint. And again, that's through the vertically integrated, meaning the entire column of air. But there are some areas that are in yellow. That's more the moderate smoke. And where you see red, it might be pretty dense. And where you see the dense smoke, where there's smoke, there's fire. Good chance that the fires that are burning are coming from places like Idaho, Northern California, or maybe even parts of Washington State, because that's where it seems like it's connected. Just connect the dots. And there are websites you can Google. You can find out where are the active wildfires in the country. It's not just one source. It's multiple sources. So you can blame, it's like, we didn't start this fire, but we have to smell it. Some of you are very sensitive to it. I'm pretty sensitive to it. So many of you might say, you know what? I might not spend my time with the windows down. Might close them up. But there's a trail of some of that smoke all drifting down toward Tennessee. And if you connect the dots, it would be illogical to assume that we're not done with the smoke either. It might be faint, but it's still out there. As far as the humidity tracker, it's really low today. As you can see at midday, the green ooze is centered around Columbia, South Carolina. And even by 5 o'clock today, it stays relatively low. It might come back a little bit tomorrow, slightly higher, but we're still in the mid-60s for dew points, so it shows a hint of green by midday tomorrow, but it really comes back, I think, Thursday night, Friday. When we have that chance of rain increasing, the humidity will come with it as well, so it will go back to the icky, sticky weather that some either absolutely love or hate. Some of it's either you're on team humidity or you're not on team humidity. But wind speed's not moved much this morning. We've already covered the fog potential. Temperatures right now 66 in Knoxville, but it is 4 degrees warmer in Music City. They're at 70 degrees this morning. I got Janet Potts saying pleasant temperature this morning in Talbot, spending the evening at a middle school football game. Very cool. I love the fact, it's football time in Tennessee in parts of middle and maybe high school soon. So I enjoy the fact that many of you will be getting out enjoy tonight. I just expect some scattered clouds tonight, Janet, so the weather will be delightful for tonight. And maybe some of you might have some pictures from the Northern Lights. I would think that the peak of the Perseids was the 11th and 12th, and now that we've hit the 13th, it's not to say you couldn't see some of the shooting stars, but the peak seemed like it's now in our rearview mirror. We have dew points in the 60s across the state, which is better than the 70s, which is very comfortable, and the feels like temperature, not even a factor. Doesn't even register on the scale for Knoxville because our temperature is actually what it feels like, 66, right? That's where we feel, and that's where we are. Sun came up, or will be coming up, in less than 60 seconds. Hard to believe. I know I have some rain there. Didn't mean to put that out, other than the Smokies. But 6:54, and it'll be going to bed at 8:27. So again, to recap, 89 for a high in Kingston. If you're in Morristown, Talbot, White Pine, about 86. Jefferson City, also about 86. Dandridge, about 87. And we were watching Ernesto over the weekend. This is a storm that doesn't have any impact on the United States, but I like to show what we call the spaghetti models. I wonder why they call them spaghetti. Oh, but I know, because they look like noodles. You're over the target. Yep. They look like spaghetti noodles. Now, most of them kind of come together across the Atlantic Ocean. But there's always a nonconformist. There's always that little straggler. That one says it's going to Mississippi. Well, you probably could disregard that. And that's one of the, maybe the fun things about trying to pin down a forecast is it can always change. But right now, this is the thought the Hurricane Center has. This is their cone. Right now, the last check has it. I've got the notes here. Let's see. Ernesto, winds of 40 miles an hour. It's 10 miles southeast of Guadalupe. That's the Leeward Islands. And it's about 350 east-southeast of San Juan. In fact, you can see there's San Juan on the left. San Juan, Puerto Rico, 350 miles east-southeast of San Juan. They have reasons to be concerned because this will not only produce some wind, like you can see here around 60 miles an hour around San Juan, but it's also going to produce a lot of rain, anywhere from 3 to 6 inches with some isolated 10, according to the Hurricane Center. This storm will become a monster of a storm, Cat 2 or higher. Certainly it could be Cat 2, and Bermuda has reasons to be concerned by this weekend. You see that little hook in the center? That's Bermuda. So Bermuda will have high surf, but they've been through worse, I'm sure. But this is a storm that they'll want to keep a watchful eye on. That little island, it's a beautiful island. I've been there before, been there a couple of times in my lifetime, and it is a beautiful island with pink sand. I love Bermuda, but I would hate to be there when they're bracing for a hurricane, because there's not a lot of place to take shelter when you're a little hook island like they are. By the way, Tropical Storm Ernesto, not going to have an issue here, but will probably create high surf, if not some rip currents, large swells, even on the East Coast. This is a future rainfall, suggests 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches or more in some parts of Puerto Rico. So this will be an interesting thing to watch. As yes, the time of year, we can check off Ernesto. That means Francine, Gordon, and Helene would be the next names on the list. And the question is, do we have any names beyond what we see with Ernesto? Right now it says no, but this is the time where most of the season, I don't know if you realize, more than half of the hurricane season happens after August 15th. So it wouldn't surprise me if all of a sudden, like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? It's time of the year. Tis the season to be tropical, because usually between now and September 10th, things start to rapid fire. But right now there are no colors of interest from the Hurricane Center. I just point that out because that can change too in a short period of time. We have hazy sun and warm conditions today. Spots of rain might be possible for the Smokies today, but our best chance, mark my words, best chance for Knoxville. When am I going to get some rain, Aldrich? Friday night. And will linger into Saturday the way I see things shaping up now. And today's only Tuesday, but I'll update you again this afternoon. Right now it's 65, no wind, 90% relative humidity, dew points at 62. Valley Planner should put us well into the upper 70s by noontime. So by lunchtime, if you're flirting with 79, 80, then we're on track to finish the day, I think, around 88 degrees, hazy sun, a warm day. Normal high is 88. Precipitation chances go way up on Friday and Friday night, and then start to stair-step down heading into Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, I've kept it dry. But the Storm Prediction Center talking about some yellow areas, if not today, certainly tomorrow. These dark green areas are representative of isolated severe storms. So anybody from Salt Lake City to Billings to Rapid City and Omaha could have some isolated severe storms. Even our friends at the beaches from Charleston back toward maybe say Myrtle Beach, and certainly near Wrightsville Beach, Sunset Beach, Folly Beach, some of those areas might have isolated severe storms, but severe weather is not on the table for today. It's certainly not on the menu. The one hot spot for tomorrow would be Omaha and, say, Lincoln, Nebraska. St. Joseph and Topeka might have scattered severe storms in yellow, isolated severe storms in green, and maybe some general thunderstorms west of Nashville. But again, Wednesday, I have it dry. Thursday, I put an isolated 20% chance for some rain or storms, but the worst of the weather will be in yellow from St. Louis to Chicagoland on Thursday as it starts to approach and gives us our best chance of rain going into the end of the work week. Here's another look at the futurecast. It does put a little bit of green in the Smokies, not much, but I left a 20% chance that it has either occurred or will occur here in the next few hours. Once we move into 5 o'clock, it may very well look like this. Have more wet weather maybe towards Charlotte. And then by 10 o'clock tonight, 11 o'clock, it stays dry, scattered clouds, and then it starts to fill in like so by midday. A lot of it is either well to our west or well to our south and east. We stay dry on Wednesday. It's that crazy, slow-moving warm front that's going to have kind of snake along parts of the Mississippi Valley, and eventually on Thursday, I left a 20% chance of something to flare up with our best bet coming in later on Friday, because Friday may look like this to start the morning. And you go, man, I wish I knew where my umbrella was. Well, at least you got time now, right? You have time between now and Friday to locate it, because you might have discarded it or put it aside for now. For today, though, 88 degrees. It's now 6:59. My goal is to be done at the top of the hour. 88 degrees, hazy, sun and warm. Mountains, some spots of rain will be possible. For today, high of 86 for Wartburg, a high of 84 for Middlesboro, Bell County, and about 83 in Oneida. By the way, if you haven't picked up a bottle of the all-new Brownie Batter Milk, available for a limited time, check them out. My friends at Weigels have come to the table with another great flavored creation. It's just better when it's fresh. Well, I think everybody would agree with that. And it's farm to store in 24. It's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. I got to brag about the all-new Brownie Batter Milk. It's not just chocolatey. It's not double chocolatey. In my view, it's triple chocolatey. It's delicious. It's one of the latest and greatest flavors at Weigels. You want to pick up a bottle today? I think you'll be most impressed if you do. By the way, as we get to the finish off the live stream, I want to show you the travel forecast. If you're headed to Atlanta, 93. If you're headed to Lexington, 86. And if you're headed to Charlotte, thunderstorms possibility at 82 degrees. Tonight we're down to 64. Scattered clouds. Janet Potts checking out the middle school football. I think it'll be comfortable, not too humid. I guess Goldilocks would say it's not too sticky. Maybe it's just right. Who knows? But if it is just right, we should drop down about 60 in Oneida, 63 Morristown, low temperatures tonight, about 64 in Maryville and Alcoa. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee. 90 on Wednesday. Oh man, I thought we were done with those. Nope, we're not done. Got a couple of hot days. And we'll be in the upper 80s, so I think going into the weekend, we'll be close to 90. But I think with that 80% chance of rain, that may certainly maybe lift your spirits, because maybe you're tired of the dry weather. Maybe the lawn is getting a little brown. You want a little bit of help from Mother Nature. We'll get that, but I think our best chance of rain is on Friday. So if you're on the call, want to say good morning to you. Let me check the comments here. It's now 7:01. Karen Robbins is on here. She says, got to try the Weigels Brownie Batter Milk. But did you know they have pretty yummy donuts? Oh, that's a good point. Not only, you know what, Brownie Batter Milk with a donut is now really starting to tempt me. I might have to check that out before the rest of today. I love the Brownie Batter Milk, but to pair it with a Weigels donut sounds like a really cool plan. I got another note from Shirley. Thank you very much, Karen. She's also one of my premium members. Look at that. Now, see, I didn't know you could do that, Shirley, but you have been able to put the thumb right over the forecast, angering anybody who wants to see Saturday's outlook. So I'm going to take that down. But I appreciate you very much for your time and attention here on a Tuesday. I hope you have a blessed day. My name is David Aldrich. We'll keep you updated. We'll see you soon here. Make sure, by the way, you pick up a bottle of the Brownie Batter Milk. Maybe you just want regular milk. Maybe you need to put some regular milk in your Weigels coffee. You can check it out at Weigels today. My name is David Aldrich. We'll see you here next time. Take care.